Hello everyone, my name is Rasha.
And my name is Naja.
We are from Group 12. Today we will present our study titled Segmentation Analysis of Indonesian Packaged Drinking Water Consumer based on their advertising concept preferences. This research explores how Indonesian consumers respond differently to advertising message for packaged drinking water and how data-driven segmentation can help brands communicate more effectively. Next. Packaged drinking water is an essential part of daily life in Indonesia, used both at home and on the go. As the number of PDW brands increases, competition becomes more intense. To stand out, companies rely heavily on advertising. These ads highlight functional benefits such as quality, purity, price, and packaging convenience, but they also use emotional appeals, taste perception, and sustainability claims. Consumers are exposed to many advertising messages at once, and this message shape how they perceive brands and make purchase decisions. This raises an important question. Do all consumers respond to the same advertising concept in the same way? Next. On previous studies show that PDW consumer behavior is influenced by both functional attributes, such as quality and taste, and emotional and ethical factor, including sustainability. In Indonesia, social media communication and sustainability messaging play a major role in building trust and loyalty. However, most existing PDW segmentation studies rely on transaction-based methods, such as RFM combined with K-means clustering. While effective for loyalty analysis, these approaches provide limited insight into consumer attitudes, emotions, and advertising preferences. Next. This leads to clear research gap. First, preference-based segmentation using advertising concept is still limited in the PDW context. Second, sentiment and text data are rarely integrated into consumer segmentation. And third, few studies compare clustering methods for mixed data using robust evaluation metrics. Our objective are to develop a preference-based consumer segmentation using advertising concept and sentiment feature to compare k-means and agglomerative clustering and to identify distinct consumer segments. And last, to translate this finding into practical advertising insight, especially for sustainability communication. Next.
This slide summarizes our research framework where we start with data collection, follow with exploratory data analysis and preprocessing, and next we perform feature extraction, including advertising concept indicators and sentiment features. The data are then embedded using factor analysis of mixed data, clustered using k-means and agglomerative methods, and then evaluated using internal metrics, and finally interpreted through cluster profiling. We collected survey data from 1,000 Indonesian PDW consumers, including demographics and 3 open-ended responses, which are PDW choice, future purchase intention, and advertisement attractiveness. After exploratory data analysis, text responses were cleaned using tokenization, stopword removal, and normalization. Lexicon-based sentiment features were also extracted and used only for clustering, not for interpretation. We then extracted advertising concept indicators such as functional quality, taste, sustainability, price value, social proof, and so on. Demographic variables were one-hot encoded, numerical features were standardized, and FIMD was applied to combine mixed data into continuous components. Clustering was performed using k-means because it is fast and good for finding clear segments, while agglomerative shows hierarchical structure and validates clustering consistency. The number of clusters tested was from K2 to 6 to identify natural consumer segments. To evaluate clustering performance, we use 3 internal validation metrics, which are silhouette score to measure separation and cohesion, Davis-Bouldin index to assess compactness and overlap, and lastly, Kalinske-Harabas index to evaluate cluster structure. The final clusters were interpreted by profiling dominant advertising concepts and demographic characteristics, translating results into practical insights to support targeted and credible advertising strategies. Based on the Evaluation metrics agglomerative clustering with K4 achieved the most balanced and interpretable results, achieving the highest silhouette score at 0.2 and lowest Davis-Bouldin index at 1.2. Although it did not reach the highest Kalinski-Harabas index, it still reaches a competing score. The final clustering solution produced four consumer segments, where cluster 0 is the largest segment, representing about 70% of respondents, while the remaining clusters capture smaller but more specialized groups. In terms of PDW selection, Cluster 0 and 2 are dominated by functional quality. Cluster 1 prioritizes taste. Cluster 3 is uniquely driven by sustainability. This shows that advertising preferences vary significantly across consumer groups. For purchase intention, functional quality dominates across all clusters, accounting for more than 78% in every segment. However, when it comes to advertisement attractiveness, taste appeal emerges as the strongest factors across all clusters, with sustainability playing a supporting role, especially in cluster 2 and 3. This indicates that consumers may purchase based on rational considerations but are attracted by emotional and sensory cues. Each cluster represents a distinct consumer profile. Cluster 0 represents the mainstream function-oriented consumers. This group is predominantly female, mostly between 25 and 44, and generally married with a senior high school education. They view packaged drinking water as a daily necessity, prioritizing reliability, safety, and consistent quality. For this segment, effective messaging should focus on trust, practical benefits, and everyday usability, supported by taste satisfaction. Cluster 1 consists mainly of younger male consumers aged 25 to 34 who are largely not married and have higher educational backgrounds. This segment is more emotionally and sensory driven, with taste playing a central role in both product choice and advertising appeal. To engage these consumers, brands should emphasize on refreshing visuals, strong taste cues, and emotionally engaging storytelling. Cluster 2 includes a balance of mix of male and female consumers, mostly aged 25 to 44, who are generally married and have diploma level education. These consumers demonstrate a rational decision-making style, combining strong expectations for product quality with a growing awareness of sustainability. They respond best to credible quality assurances and realistic sustainability claims, rather than exaggerated marketing messages. Finally, Cluster 3 represents a smaller but distinct sustainability-conscious segment. This group is predominantly female, age 45 to 54, and mostly married. They place strong emphasis on environmental responsibility and long-term value while still expecting reliable product performance. Communication aimed at this segment should highlight ethical practices, sustainability commitments, and long-term benefits supported by functional quality.
In conclusion, agglomerative clustering with KS4 effectively identifies distinct consumer segments in the PDW market, while functional quality consistently drives future purchase intention. Taste and sustainability differentiate consumer perception and advertising effectiveness. Although this study is limited by cross-sectional data and sentimental interpretation scope, it provides a strong foundation for data-driven target advertising strategies. And that's all from us. Thank you.